Hello everybody! Welcome back to another episode of Minecraft How to Build. Manticore here. I hope you all had an awesome holiday, and today you probably saw that we will be continuing with our magical builds. I know, you thought we were done, but we're not. So, we're going to be building a shaman's camp, and before we get started, I just want to go ahead and show off really quick while we're over here this little water mill. If you were present for the episode where we actually built this little guy, you might have noticed that the wheel itself is a little bit different. Well, coming back down to here, I'll go ahead and show you guys what I did. Before, I wanted to try and keep it simple because this was one of our earlier builds and I didn't want to make it too complicated for you guys. However, if you do want to go ahead and update your water mill, all I did was add the wheel. I duplicated it right over here, and for the inside I pretty much just copied what was on this inner circle, and then I set a water bucket right down here in the center. So that's all there is to it, but without further ado, let's get to today's actual build. Now, coming over here, we're in the older section of town near the farming area, near the water mill, and the stables, and Edgar's house. You can just barely see him over there in the window. Now, coming around here this hill, you can see that I went ahead and laid down a purple terracotta rectangle. It's a very long rectangle, actually. But this is going to be the template that we're working with today. Now, if I counted this right, we are looking at a 23 by 11 rectangle of purple terracotta, and we also went ahead and left 5 in the center of one of the longer sides open, and this is going to be the entrance of our little tent that we're making. So the basic way to go ahead and start building this up, and you can use a different color terracotta if you want to, but you'll see what we're doing here in just a moment. So we're going to start in the corners, and we'll place these down, and then we're just going to treat this as if it were the top of a simple castle build. So we're going to go over by one, and just keep repeating that. And then we'll do this on the two long sides first, because the shorter sides are a little bit different, so I want to go ahead and get the easier ones out of the way. That way no mistakes are made. Okay, so that's what we've got right there. And then coming over to here, rather than skipping this first one, we're actually going to be adding one purple block directly next to the corner piece, and then we are going to go ahead and continue with the skipping pattern. So nothing too complicated, it's just a slight variation from the pattern that we were going off of before, and that is basically because with this design, while it's not an advanced style build, the frame is slightly on the outside of these short ones. So we're going to be building up the majority of this frame using quartz, and the reason we're doing this is because we actually want this to look like the frame itself is made out of giant bones. And it might seem a little weird right now, but we're just going to go ahead and build this up a little bit for now. And then I'm going to go ahead and replace the second quartz block with spruce wood. And basically the reason that I'm doing that is because every now and again along the bone I want to have these little spruce planks to look like rope that's wrapped around the bone itself. So for now I think we're just going to go ahead and leave them at that point. We don't need to build them up too high just yet. And then coming over to here, we're going to go ahead and add the frame for the entrance, which will be about 3 blocks high. You don't need to worry about the spruce on these ones just yet. And then we'll do the same pattern that we did with that purple frame over there, which is just the castle-like pattern. And we're just going to do it short like that, so only about 5 long. And then we'll add another 3 quartz onto these sides. For really quick, I'm going to do the same to that far side. I'm going to build up those little ones, and then we'll be back here to finish up the frame for the entrance. Alright, so coming into here, let's go ahead and add some spruce planks on top of those 3 tall. And then we're going to grab our smooth quartz stairs, and we're going to start building these inwards. Okay, so something just like that. And then once we've got 1 block in the center, we're going to lay 3 spruce atop it, just like that. And again, this is to sort of imitate the look of a rope holding these bones together. Now coming up top, we're going to continue to lay down some quartz stairs, and we're just going to go ahead and do, I think about 3 should be about right. Whoops. Okay, so there we go, something like that. And then this is optional, you don't have to, but if you do think it looks better, I kind of do. We're going to go ahead and add a small spruce slab up on the top in between those 2. And a little bit later on, I'll show you guys why we're not doing the center. Now, I'm going to go ahead and repeat this on these 2 right here, and then we'll be back. Okay, so your build should be looking a little something like this now if you are following along in your own world. And now we're going to go ahead and start switching over to smooth red sandstone. And now I decided to use this block for a few different reasons. One of those reasons was because I thought it would be cool to give you guys an opportunity to use a block that you might not typically use in your regular world. And so just to make this easier, I'm going to transition over to stairs here really quick. Oh, actually, yeah, we'll just follow along with this for now. There might be a regular block in here, but we'll just see how this looks once we get it all in. Okay, so I'm getting a feeling that I did something wrong here. So I'm going to go ahead and play around with this for a moment. So I'm more than certain these should be up here. And let's see, I think it was something like this. I did play around with this design in a creative world before starting this build. That way I had an idea of what it was we were building. Let's see, how do we look over here? Okay, so this isn't quite right, I don't think. But you know, we'll go ahead and just get this all in on the other side, and then we'll play around with the design a little bit more to see what we want to do. So what I'm doing at this point is I'm layering the smooth orange sandstone. I think that's what it's called, right? Smooth red sandstone. What I said? I don't know, folks. You know what I'm using though. And so then we're gonna go ahead and come into here after we apply the step layer after the first 2, and we're gonna do some upside down stairs in here. And then we'll go ahead and just lay on another set of stairs right up here. So this is the only set of stairs that's flush with the bone itself. And now this is what the build should be looking like at this point in time. And now we're going to go ahead and start building up the center. So now what I was trying to say before was that I wanted to try and use some blocks, along with the fact that I thought that this orange sandstone, or red sandstone, was a good, almost like a tanned leather type color for like a more natural style tent. I also thought it would be fun to use something that you guys might not get to use in a lot of other builds. So we're going to go ahead and just build this up to about here. So it's 3 above the crisscross hatch design. And then we'll also go ahead and take this over to here. Now what makes this build itself a little bit more complicated than some of the other ones that we might tackle throughout this series is the fact that this is technically just a really big tent. So because of that, we can't throw in a bunch of windows here and there where we might otherwise want to. And I'm thinking something like that is just about the right height that we're looking for. But because of that fact, it basically means that we have to be kind of smart about some sections that we're going to leave open. I'm going to go ahead and speed through here and fill in the base level for all this red sandstone. And then, folks, I will be back. Now I went ahead and stopped the speed through here because I think we're getting to about the point where we want to start arching up with the frame. And I want to go ahead and get this all figured out here so that way we don't add too many layers of redstone, or not redstone but red sandstone. So now what we've got right here is we've just got two pairs of stairs with, I don't know how I describe this, maybe a upwards facing stair with, guys, I don't even know how to describe it, but you can see here what we've got going. And so we've got 3 of each of these, and that's what we want to go ahead and mimic on both sides in order to get a better idea of where everything is situated. And you know, taking a look at this, I think we're one too low. So let's go ahead and before doing that little incline, let's add one more block right about there. And I'm almost thinking that we actually add one underneath as well. We want this to be a rather tall build. Okay, so what we've got now, this is the official size, guys. I'm not going to change it again, don't worry. We've got 1 smooth quartz, followed by spruce planks, followed by 4 smooth quartz, another plank, and then 1 more smooth quartz, and that's when we start the incline. So now, as I was saying before, we're just going to go ahead and do essentially 3 rows of these pairs of stairs. And we'll do that on both sides. Alright, so something just like that should be good. And then I want to go ahead and grab the spruce stairs. And what you saw there just a moment ago, guys, yes, that is my Christmas present to myself and to all of you. I finally downloaded the replay mod, so we can hopefully get some cool little time lapses in here as we build up the place a bit more. Now, so what we did is we went ahead and changed over to spruce wood stairs, and then we've got 3 spruce right here in the center. So again, we're still pretty much just trying to mimic that rope look on those, but we're going to do the same thing that we did down there. And we are going to add a little bit of a part that sticks off, but instead of doing it like we have over there, where it is pretty much along the spruce, we're going to actually do this sort of along here instead. So I'm really bad with words, but as you guys can see, this is basically what we've got going. Not like that, like that. And so now we've just got a little bit of a piece that sticks off the top. Then grabbing our smooth quartz block, we're going to go ahead and bring this all the way across to the opposite frame, which we haven't actually built up yet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick here. Probably do it off camera, and then I'll bring you guys back once it's all matching. Alright, so now we do have our matching frame, and really quick, I just realized we never put something in right here, so I'm going to go ahead and throw in a half slab of that red sandstone just to finish that off. Since it's not looking too bad, we'll probably just leave that as it is. And then we'll go ahead and come around to here, and it's time that we went ahead and started to build this up a little bit better. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I think we'll go ahead and give the replay mod a try. So this will be the first 1.16.4 replay use. Here we go. Welcome back, folks. We are now done with that replay, and for this next part we are going to be going ahead and adding in some support beams onto the top of these sides. So as you can see, I stopped with this wall. It looks like it's about 6 blocks high, and pretty much one before this roof starts to sort of make its incline. And so we're going to go ahead and stick those support beams right in under here. And we're using stripped dark oak logs for that. Then we'll go ahead and come over here and repeat that on this side of the tent. And the reason I'm doing this is because I actually want to leave these big sections open as sort of, I don't even know what to call it. They're not really vents, but they're sort of just like a glimpse into the outside world from while you're down in here. And because of the way that this tent is built, there's a little bit of an overhang over here, so you shouldn't have to worry about rain getting in here too much. Now, as you can see, taking a look at it from way out here, it's looking pretty cool. However, there's a lot of orange going on. And since this is technically like tan, skin, hide type leather, we can't add too much decoration. And so the best way that I found to do this is to actually add on more to the frame. And you know, since this is a shaman, it's kind of, I want this to be more of a creepy, like fantasy type build for this shaman. So really quick, I didn't need to get rid of that. I'm gonna go ahead and add, oh, that looks a little too close, so we'll say on the 4th block out from this little ledge, we're gonna add a small little nub with those stairs where one is upright and one is upside down. Then coming over another 2, we're gonna do the same thing. And we'll switch over to this side and do the opposite thing. So with these little sort of Z's facing out that way, the next 2 little Z's are going to be facing out that way. Now, I believe it was 4 and 1, and then was it 3 or was it 4? There's a wandering trader. That's very appropriate. Okay, so 2. And then we got the upside down one and the solid. Alright, so that's what we got going so far. I know it doesn't look too fancy just quite yet, but what we're going to do is we are now going to go ahead and find the middle of this support beam, and we're going to do something just like that. I think that's the middle, right? Yeah, that looks about right. And then along here, I also want to go ahead and throw in a few spruce planks, again, to sort of make it look like these bones are tied together. And, you know, I'm just testing this out. I don't know if I'll like it or not. Interesting. I don't know if I want to keep that. I'm just curious here. Playing around with the build. Yeah, I think that's too high. Okay. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that one. And then I'm almost wondering how it would look if we repeated this. Yeah, so that's about even. You know, that's not too bad. I almost like that. And instead of doing a full, what if we just did that? Ooh, folks, I think we got a winner. Okay. So that was definitely not in my original design, but hey, it's always good to advance your builds any way you can. So now the next addition that we're going to be adding to this frame is right about here where we've got the right side up stair. We're going to go ahead and get rid of these little stone pieces right there, sandstone, and we're going to bring this out by, oh, let's say we do 3. And we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So what I want to do with this is I want to make it look almost like a rib cage, and with this upper fancy little design up here, I want that to be almost kind of like a backbone, even though it probably wouldn't have these upside down stairs. So we'll go ahead and add on some more stairs onto this side in order to get that curve that we want. And then coming down to here, I might have to break my way in over here. Okay, yep, so just like that. Then we'll do that, and we'll go down by 1. And let's see, it would be right about here that we have to break next. Oops. Okay, so something just like that. And then I want to go down another 2, I think. We'll take a step back and see if that's what we want to do. And we'll also go ahead and replace this red stone here. Okay, so I think that's about right. Now we'll go ahead and, before we start repeating that over there, I'm actually going to go ahead and show you guys how to do the next few, because they're slightly different from this. The way that the rib cage works is that as it goes down, at least to my very basic understanding of anatomy, is that the ribs get smaller as it continues to go down. So what we're doing here is we're going to be making this slightly smaller than that one. So I'll show you guys an example of what I'm talking about here in just a moment, but for now, let's get this all in. So we got that, and then that. Go down to there, break that one. And come back around to here. We'll replace this redstone too as we go. And then instead of going down the 2, I'm just going to go down 1 this time. Alright, so from what you can see here, this gets just slightly shorter as it goes inwards. So the largest rib is going to be out here, closest to the edge of the frame. And then this middle one is going to be slightly shorter. And then we're going to do one more here in the center, which is the shortest of them all. So we'll go ahead and bring this out by the same 3. That part doesn't change. Then we'll come down to here. Down 1. Okay, so something just like that maybe? Or I'm actually wondering if maybe we go even shorter than that. What if we just did that? Okay, I think I like that more, so we'll go ahead and just take off this section completely for the middle part anyways, and then we'll fill that back in. And so this is the basic design of what we're going for. Now I'm gonna go ahead and make this symmetrical so that we've got a medium rib on this section and a long one over here, and then I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. So once again, we'll be back. Alright folks, we have completed the frame up on top with that ribcage design, and as you can see, it is a lot of white, but it does a really good job of breaking up all that extra orange. So with that, we've got the basic design for this large tent, the exterior at least, set up. And one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video is that this little entrance, it's really basic, but it makes for a really good small tent as well. So if you don't want something nearly as big as this, you can always just make something like this little entrance, and it's a lot smaller and easier to make. I'm almost thinking about making one of these, just a smaller version, a little bit over there, along with more of a camp for the rest of this exterior. That is going to do it for today's episode, folks. I hope you did enjoy the exterior build. In the next episode, we will be doing some interior work to this shaman camp, and as you can see here, we've got a lot to do. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss the interior build. Thanks guys, have an awesome one.